You have a great love life on TV.
Yes.
What about kissing Spock?
His passions came back, or his Vulcan aloofness was broken down, or something happened. All you had to do was look at this redhead. And we ended up in this kind of lovely love scene, and I taught him how to eat meat. I mean, that was the devastating part of it. I mean, actually, I think that bothered viewers more than anything, was that now he was no longer a vegetarian, and really kind of enjoyed it surreptitiously.
What about the kiss? Do you remember that?
It wasn't bad. The kiss that I remember the most. Do you remember a guy named Keir DeLay?
Sure, from 2001.
Yeah. There are certain things that you can't fake, and one of them is getting slightly turned on by kids, especially if they happen 4 to 5 hours a day, which is what was happening in this case. We met, shook hands, and necked for 4 hours. We were lovers and evil together. It was called No Place to Hide. And so we necked all day, and my beloved husband, who has a wonderful ego and a great sense of humor, you can't go into the Winnebago with, I was married, I had 2 kids, and you can't finish things off on the set. You do have to go home and continue the thought and keep it creative and legal. So I went home and opened the door, and my husband was literally flattened in a period of 15 to 20 minutes. And I went to work the next day, and the next day, and the next day. The following week, we necked again for 4 hours. Came back, flattened my husband. Finally, one day he said, "This is your last day. This is it." And I said, "Yeah, I can't believe it." We were having breakfast together, and he said, "This is it." And he said, "God," I said, "I'm going to miss Keir."
Was there a lot of giggling doing the Polaroid commercials?
It wasn't serious. There was a nice balance with that. Jimmy and I worked so beautifully together, and the balance was so electric and so magical and very real, that when we would come up with the one-liners at the end of the legalese that we had to kind of get through, and they'd let us go, they'd give us our head, so to speak, and we would kind of go off in little worlds together. It was heaven. And it created humor as opposed to our laughing about it at the time.
The whole silliness about how people actually thought that you two were married. If you had been a couple, do you think that you two would have gotten along being together all the time, or was it just a total working relationship?
Ours was a total working relationship. I saw Jimmy once personally at dinner for the whole Polaroid group. That was it. We never saw one another personally.
That is what took to get you a household name.
From that point on, for me, it was such a joyous way of doing it. I mean, we did those commercials for 7 years, and we must have done about 250 of them. And it was a joyous, very easy, very happy time for me.
But what about the fact that it's obscuring all the other acting that you've done?
Well, I don't think it has since then. I mean, people do remember me, but that was the longest standing job I've ever had. I did Goodnight Beantown, that lasted 18 episodes. I did so-and-so, that lasted such and such. They have a tendency in this town to think of you, in the thing that they have seen the most. And they left a lasting impression. I've never had resentment about it. I've always had gratitude about it, because up until that point, I was obscure. I couldn't get the kind of jobs that I can get now. When I think of the things that I've been paid to do, I marvel.